Alexander, and I'm the Family and Consumer Sciences Agent in Davis County. And today, myself and Amanda Hardy are going to be presenting the Sharing Meals Together, a guide to a smarter potluck homemaker lesson. And there will be a handout in your all's information on doing shared meals during a pandemic, and it basically refers you to follow the CDC, the Center for Disease Control guidelines, and your state and local government guidelines when having groups and having food. So that'll be in your all's packet. And today's lesson is about potlucks. Everybody usually calls them potlucks, covered dish meals, fellowship meals, anywhere where you're bringing together a bunch of food made by several different people and coming together to eat and fellowship. So we're going to talk about smarter ways to navigate a potluck today. And in your, we'll edit that out.
Just start over.
All the way?
No, just start over.
Okay. Today we're going to think about smarter ways to navigate a potluck and to maybe meet more specific nutritional needs of other people that may be in your group, especially if they have special needs as far as lower sodium, lower cholesterol, sugar-free, diabetics, and just ways to make healthier choices when you're at a potluck. There is an activity, it's called a Post-it potluck activity that you can do with your club, and there's details in it, how you do it. Basically, everybody writes down on a Post-it, what they normally bring to a potluck and where they usually place it on the table, and then you can kind of discuss, other ways to place it, other ways to prepare it, or, just as far as like the dishes you put it in and how you serve it. So, because potlucks, we're not trying to eliminate foods, we're just trying to make it an easier way for you to make smarter choices when you're at a potluck. So we'll go over 5, the idea, hold on. So we're going to go over 5 different strategies of ways to implement healthier food choices at a potluck. And those are, the first one is managing portion sizes. If you keep your portion sizes, to the more appropriate serving size, if you want to prepare them in single dishes where people can pick up just one portion rather than a big scoopful that may be 2 or 3 serving sizes, using larger utensils for your healthier foods, like your salads and your vegetables, you can use larger spoons for those, and maybe smaller spoons for some of your unhealthier or your desserts, to try to, just small little changes you can make. And if guests customarily pick more than one dessert, then you could cut your desserts into smaller pieces, already have them pre-cut. You could put them on their own, smaller plates and do some things like that. And the second strategy is to increase convenience for the healthy foods, which one way of doing that is placing your healthier food options at the beginning of your potluck line. Like here, we've got our napkins, plates, and then the first thing you see is the vegetables, some whole wheat crackers, cheeses, and then we get into our fruits. And then putting your beverage station with your unsweetened options, some water, at the end. You could also place milk with your dessert table, fresh fruit. You don't have to put it on the main table. You could put it on the dessert table too as a healthier dessert option. And the third option is improving visibility. The ways you select on putting your bright, colorful fruits and vegetables, like we said at the beginning. Also placing them in tiered, dishes if you can, to where it's more eye-appealing. We've got the vegetable cups up at the top where it's easy for them to just grab one. And then, of course, our cheese and crackers, which are colorful. And then we have our fruit, the very next thing. And you could do single serving little dish bowls with mixed fruit already done up so they can just grab it. Little kebabs are an easy, a couple little berries on a toothpick. or you could put a couple more on a coffee stir, so you can fit a little more on there. And coffee stirs people typically have, and they can be inexpensive. So that's just a different way to present your fruit rather than just having people scoop a spoonful of it. And also it's a cost savings, especially when fruit's out of season. It can be a little expensive. So if you can make the kebabs and know exactly how many you make, you can kind of stretch your dollars that way. Another thing you can do, like if you want your heart-healthy foods to be noticed, you could place a red tablecloth under them. That's just another option to do. You could also label them, put little table signs up if you want to do a sticker method, but that would be like blue stickers or low sodium. You can mark everything, and that's also, you could also work on that when you have your sign-up sheet for who's bringing what, to be sure you cover everything. The fourth one is to enhance taste expectations, and that's, arranging your food, showcasing the raw fruits and vegetables, arranging bite-sized pieces in cups and the kebabs, like I mentioned before, using colorful bowls and placemats, just making it more eye-appealing, because, you kind of, the first thing you see makes you want to pick it up or not. The fifth one is utilizing suggestive strategies, which I kind of mentioned before. The signage on the food, placing milk on the dessert table, and of course the fresh fruit. Putting it on the dessert table. You could still leave it on the main table as well. Give them two chances to pick up some fresh fruit. So now we've got a healthier recipe that we're going to go over. Amanda Hardy is going to go over it and some other information for the lesson.
Hi, I am Amanda Hardy. I'm the FCS agent here in Henderson County, and we've got, like Katie said, several things. Okay, this is really twisted on the area. Get it off. Hold on just a second. Okay. I'm going to start all over. Hi, I'm Amanda Hardy. I'm the FCS agent here in Henderson County, and as Katie was showing all the good food that's up here and ways to present it, there's also a lot of people out there that have special diets and special needs. Some of the ways you can do that, of course, is making it known what is in the recipe. So you could have a card out, a simple piece of paper, a sticker, and just put on there, does it have dairy in it? Is it gluten-free? Is it a recipe for diabetics? There's a lot of different things that people have needs for as far as eating healthy and being able to eat the things that you can and you can't eat. So being able to show those things are, definitely important. Katie also mentioned a list of what people are bringing, so a sign-up sheet. Knowing what people's needs are ahead of time is really important, especially when people are bringing items to the table. So you might want to check with people and see, okay, can you eat gluten? Can you eat dairy? I have a friend who showed up one day to her Thanksgiving meal with her family, and there was nothing on the table she could eat. So, making sure that people can actually eat the foods that are prepared is very important. Sign-up sheets are also great. You don't want to show up with all desserts or all vegetables. You want to make sure that there's somebody bringing something in every food category if that's what you're having. If you're having appetizers, great. You don't want to show up with the same appetizer. So making sure that the sign-up sheet lists what you're bringing, and that not everybody's bringing rolls to one event, nothing else. I've shown up before to places and there's no drinks. So making sure that everything's covered, and a sign-up sheet is the best way to do that. I know some clubs will actually have hosts, and 2 people will pair for that particular meeting. that works out great as well because they can get together one-on-one and figure out the things that are needed. I've also heard where people take their last names. A lot of churches do that. A and B, they do certain stuff. C and D does something else. So there's lots of strategies that you can do. But of course, writing it down and knowing what everybody's bringing ahead of time is very important. Smarter recipes. So we talked about how we want to make sure serving sizes are right. We want to make sure that we're listing what people can have and can't have. One of those, is health concerns. A lot of people now are concerned about their health, which is a great thing. We all need to be healthy. So preparing something different. I know a lot of people like to go to places and they like to do the potluck thing because it's like, oh, I get to try something I've never had. I need that recipe or something like that. So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to prepare one of the recipes that you all have, and it's a Smarter recipe. It's Smarter Potluck Hash Brown Casserole. So very interesting ingredients. We have all the ingredients already mixed up, ready to go. So we'll show you that in just a second. But I want to talk about one other thing before we get started, and that is food safety. Food safety is so important. We don't want anyone to leave the potluck and get sick. You hear a lot of times that everybody in that family got sick, or everybody that was at that church that day got sick. It was probably something that they ate, something that someone prepared. So you want to make sure you're practicing safety when it comes to food. My rule of thumb is keep foods hot, keep foods cold. But there are 4 things. You want to make sure that it is clean when you're preparing your food, that you're washing your hands and the surface, that you're not using the same bowl that you had raw chicken in, or that you're cleaning that surface. There was a commercial several years ago, and I've spoken this before, but the commercial shows where you're taking an old dish rag and you're wiping the counter is no different than taking a piece of raw chicken and wiping the counter with that raw chicken. So keep that in mind because you want to make sure that you are cleaning your surfaces, and you don't want to clean them with raw chicken. So use new washcloths, wash towels, sponges, get rid of those and get new ones. Also, separate your foods. Raw foods need to be separated from stuff that's going to cook. So you don't want to have those veggies over there with your raw meat. You want them separated. Then you want to cook things to the right temperature. Things don't get done, people are going to get sick. You want to make sure that you're cooking your foods thoroughly. If you're cooking meat, you want to make sure that you're sticking a thermometer in that meat and you're checking it. And then also you want to make sure that things go in the refrigerator promptly. Rule of thumb is no longer than 2 hours do you leave something out. So one of the things I always tell people if they're coming to my house and we're doing potluck or we're having a big meal is it may be put up because I want it to be safe, but feel free to get it back out if you still want some. I know a lot of people will kind of munch and crunch all day long. Put it away, get it back out. So if it's supposed to go in the refrigerator, put it in the refrigerator. Make sure that you're wrapping things up well, that you're keeping things wrapped, and if they need to go in the freezer, make sure you're using the proper containers for freezing. And the other thing you can do, especially if you don't have a lot of refrigeration space, take a cooler, line it with some aluminum foil to keep things hot, or just put things in a cooler on ice. That's always a great extra kind of mini fridge that you can keep for a couple hours. So, how does your potluck measure up? Do you do these things? Are there things that you need to be doing that you're not doing? So we're going to actually work on this recipe, and you've got several sheets that go along with this lesson that will be included in your packet. You're going to have a how does your potluck measure up sheet that you can actually go by step by step. And it's a kind of a fill in the blank. Yeah, do you have special needs for your food? Do you, does someone in your family have those needs? That sort of thing. And then you're going to have a guide to Smarter Potlucks, which gives you some more information, a lot of what we've gone over. And then you're going to have a cooking for groups for food safety. So it tells you the temperatures and everything that you will need for your potluck. You will also have a mastering food choices, how to modify recipes. That's always a good one. For instance, it tells you that you can replace sugar by reducing the amount by half if something calls for sugar. And it will help reduce some of that. It might reduce some of the taste, but it's not going to take it completely away. So you'll get that in your packet, and then you will have what we call a certificate that says, "We pledge to host a smarter potluck." So you can sign this and know that you're actually taking into consideration everyone that's going to be at your table. So we're going to prepare this recipe real quick, show you how easy it is. It is our cauliflower potato. I'm sorry. Not cauliflower. It is, I don't know where I got that. It is our Smarter Potluck Hash Brown Casserole. So, what we have done so far is we've mixed all the ingredients. It called for a package of hash browns that are thawed, and you take those, get those thawed out, and then you're going to just add all the ingredients. You're going to add sour cream, a cup of sour cream, a cup of plain Greek yogurt, a tablespoon of parsley flakes, a half cup of shredded cheese, a 4th teaspoon of black pepper, and 1.5 cups of corn flakes are going to go on top along with the butter, a tablespoon of butter. So oven preheats to 375 and it cooks for about 40 minutes. So very easy. One of the alterations I can see with this compared to a regular hash brown casserole that I would call is it's got the Greek yogurt in there, and that's just going to give it some more flavoring. So it's already mixed together. It looks wonderful. It almost looks like you could just eat this as a potato casserole or a potato salad. But we're going to put this in our dish. And one of the things, if you're in a hurry and you need those potatoes, pretty quick, you can always thaw them in the microwave for a few minutes and get them softer, and then they'll be ready. But of course, the best way is just let them thaw on their own, but it always works. Okay. And we will be showing this recipe on the screen, so it smells delicious. Okay. And then we're just going to take some corn flakes.
You know, butter with them. That's how we make.
Oh, okay. Now let's see. I need some. Okay, so we're going to put a teaspoon. Okay, I'm really messing up on
Well,
this.
you have to redo it.
Yeah.
It's at the end.
Okay. Okay, so we've got the potato casserole in the dish. Now we are ready for the cornflakes and the butter. So we've got the cornflakes ready to go in the bag, and we're going to melt the butter real quick in the microwave. And then while that's melting, we're going to pour that butter in here, mix it up, and then pour it over the casserole. The casserole will cook on 375 for 40 minutes, and then we'll get it out and let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then it's good to go. butter melted. And we're just going to kind of stir that in. Okay, so all ready to go. Now it's good and buttery. And then we're just going to sprinkle this on. Okay, so we're finished. Looks like this. And we're going to put it in the oven. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call at the Extension office, either in Davis County or Henderson County, and we'll be glad to answer your questions. But thank you for watching.